I got off that bus, stopped right there. This is the South Perry district of Spokane, Washington. And it is on the South Hill, but it's closer to downtown. This is a mixed residential and commercial area, although right here, we're just in the residential part. So I'm going to walk down a little bit further and see what's going on here. For example, we're just in a normal residential neighborhood, but you can see we have a business here. Somebody has a cafe and art shop in their house. So that is where we are right now. We have craftsman homes with pride flags. You might know this type of neighborhood, but in some ways this might be a little bit new and different. It is a little bit different for me as well. Well, we were already in South Perry district, but I think this rainbow crosswalk is inviting us to go through, but not to walk through traffic. This is a good time to remind everybody, especially because we're in Spokane, fix your heart or die. Although what fixing your heart looks like might mean different things at different times. Well, we have a cafe. We have this street. They have a window mill that says herbs. And oh boy, that looks twee. But also, I haven't had any kava for like 8 or 9 months. And not only is it an herb shop with a windmill, it's called Lorien Herbs. So yeah, pretty twee. But like I said, I need some kava. And I'm also wondering, is that Lorien or Lothlorien? And would Irmo be growing kava in the Guardians of Lorien? I think yes. So this shows the residential part of South Perry, and we're just off of that street. And this looks like a 2030s bungalow craftsman, era neighborhood with some other newer stuff. And there's a bookstore right there. So one thing about mixed residential and business is it has maybe more denotation than connotation, because most neighborhoods, like including my own, where I'm living now, it's like, well, we're a couple blocks walk from a shopping center. We can go to a grocery store, stuff like that. But what is different with this neighborhood is that you have residential houses interspersed with buildings that are houses or built on the scale of houses, and those are local businesses. So this is somewhat unique in a lot of American cities, especially newer West Coast cities, that you have a neighborhood like this. Often, of course, that's rare, because when a neighborhood gets started, all those residential houses go on sale and become businesses and get changed, like what happened in the Hawthorne district of Portland. So this is unique, even though, the idea of houses being within walking distance of businesses isn't unique, but in this form, it is kind of unique. There's also pizza. Fortunately, it's too hot for me for pizza right now, but local pizza places are nice. You can see more local places as well. I'm assuming that because it is, 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, we're not in as, full of party mode as we could be, that we might have to wait till like a Friday night for this area to really liven up. We also have a Buddhist temple here, and I like the combination of American architecture with like slight touches of pagoda. So we have Buddhism and pizza. One teaches relief of suffering, the other teaches presence of enjoyment. So that's, kind of a good cross-section of life. So I'm going to be walking a little bit off of this road and technically out of the district, because there's a little park along here I want to see. So we're a couple blocks away from that street and from the center of the South Perry district. And as you can see, we have a combination of single-family homes and apartment homes, which makes sense. If you want to make a mixed residential and commercial neighborhood, you should have enough housing for people to appreciate all that commercial stuff. Some of it looks like it's still coming up, maybe. So I was not expecting that, on the map, and I use that phrase so much. This all looked like one neighborhood with a lot of stuff close together. But it looks like we have just come to some place that is outside the neighborhood, so to speak. I'll stop doing that eventually. And we have a footpath down here, And that building there is my destination. One thing I like about Spokane, and I didn't realize this until a couple of weeks ago, is there's so much of it that's really orderly, tame, almost banal. And then you'll just be walking along and you'll come to something like this. Right there is a library. We're not so far removed from the downtown main library, but I think they wanted to make a smaller one for a residential neighborhood like this, so people don't have to go all the way downtown. I haven't been to this library before. Architecture looks interesting and innovative. Let's see what it's like on the inside. Oh, beautiful architecture and very spacious and a good use of light. But, you know, when I look at there and I look back when I was in the Davenport Library, which was very crowded, the Davenport Library might have already actually had more books. Not that I'm complaining. So this is Liberty Park. And I'm just going to take a little walk through this park, and then I'm going to see if I can get on the trail, just walk to downtown. We also have a little disc golf course here. Maybe a big one. I don't know. So this is kind of like a little park that a little bit more than a neighborhood park. Not a gigantic park and not really a nature park, but a nice park. And I think I might be walking underneath that over past there, maybe somewhere else to exit the park. One thing I should mention, and it's kind of obvious because I've talked about how there's sudden shifts, and I said, like, you're in the middle of a tame suburban neighborhood and then bam, you hit something. And that's not by accident. That's because this is all built on the side of a volcano. Not quite the same way things were in San Jose or Cartago, but this is on the side of a volcano. And there are some things that are very hard to avoid or build on, so sometimes you just come to a wall of basalt and you stop building there. So I just wanted to point that out, and then I am going to, as I said, return back the way I came. So goodbye to Liberty Park. We saw several things today, and now we're ending the video walking underneath I-90. Maybe not the most charming way to end it, but that's how it ends up sometimes. So today I saw kind of a nice little neighborhood, type of neighborhood a lot of people would like. Charming single-family homes, but also apartments and also businesses and a sense of community. And sometimes when I'm walking through a place like that, I don't know whether it just looks nice on the outside or whether it actually does have a good sense of community. My intuition, though, is that's a pretty cool place. Nice place to live. Spokane has lots of little pockets like that. So that is what we learned about today for now, and there will be more.